Hello everyone and welcome to episode 27 of the NulReference Plays the Direwolf 1.12.2 pack. Um, Today's upgrade day. We are now running the 1.5 version of the Direwolf pack. There's been quite a few changes, not sure exactly what all of them are yet. I briefly read through the changelog, but I don't exactly remember. I know some stuff was pulled out for a dupe bug, and some stuff was put in to replace it temporarily or permanently. He's not sure yet. Um, One of the very first things that I did was I threw myself into running the trying Twilight Forest again on a different world map or on a different map, and I gave myself basically what I have here. It's still not usable. You can do it, but the bosses still lag. The whole world still lags. You get too many items on the ground, which is like 10, and it starts lagging hard. I did the Infinity Axe thing with my not the Infinity Axe, the Lumber Axe over there. Tried a Lumber Axe over there on one of the big trees, and it just brought the game to a grinding halt. I then took one of those tree saplings to the normal world and force grew it and chopped it down. No lag whatsoever. So there's something up with the Twilight Forest mod that is messing up the tick rate or something. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with it. I checked their wiki, and they have no idea either at this point. They're trying to chase it down. I also found out from the wiki that it's not complete, that you can only get about 3/4 or so of the way through it, the way it's supposed to be, and the rest is works in progress. So I also found out that the dungeon, not immediately after the labyrinth, but the one right after that, I believe it is extremely buggy in generation, and about half the time you have to blow up walls to get where you need to go. So played with a few different mods before I found out there was an upgrade. Played with a few different mods on my alternate pack to check to see what I wanted to do, and I actually thankfully was playing in offline mode, so it didn't use my character's UUID properly, because what I was working with and what we're going to work with today and for the next couple of days probably is Psi. And it apparently carries over between worlds. You have one main Psi file for your progress that you've gotten in it, and that's what you stay at, which I guess is kind of inconvenient. But so we're going to make a CAD assembler. See if we've got all the stuff for that. Need the piston. This is how you start this. So we get a piston, we get a CAD assembler, and we make is it the iron assembly? Yes, the iron assembly. Alright, so we're going to set up Psi. There's nothing going on right here, and as far as I know, it's only a 2 or 3 block deal to do, and it doesn't require any power, so we're going to throw this in there, and we're going to get our actual casting gun, and that's got some cool sound effects. Alright, now we're going to need some redstone. It doesn't tell you in JEI what you need for this. This is going to make Psi dust, and I'm not exactly sure what we need Psi dust for, but I know we need it, so we're going to throw this on the ground, and we're going to shoot it. And I leveled up, so let's press C. Unequip my CAD. Wait, do what? Press C. I believe that's the wrong HUD. Oh, apparently all my controls got reset. So let's go see if this will bring it up. Master keybind. Let's change that to this one. There we go. Found one that wasn't used. First try. Okay. Science found. No, we don't want to load it. We want to start completely over. Tutorial. Trick debug with caster. Okay. Welcome to the leveling menu. It looks like you've gotten acquainted with your brand new CAD. This menu serves as your school for the mod, and this is your first tutorial. Don't worry, this is the longest one as it has to teach you the basics. To get started programming spells, you'll need a spell programmer. To run your spells, you'll also need a better CAD than the one you have right now, one with all the components. Look up all the various component CADs, assembly, core, socket, battery, and colorizer, and create one. You don't have to make another assembly. You can put your current CAD in your crafting grid to revert it to an assembly. Okay. Lastly, spells also need to be put into spell bullets. Alright. So you make yourself all that stuff and let's get rolling. Alright, so let's make those things, which was a spell bullet, an assembly, which I have, a core, a socket, and a battery. Okay. Oh, and we needed the programmer. So let's get the programmer. That's where I needed the sawdust. I knew that we were going to need it for something, because I looked at the wiki very briefly just to figure out how to make this part work. Okay, so basic CAD core. Again, just sawdust. A little bit of sawdust. So it's a core, a socket, battery, let's see, colorizers. What colors do we have? Do we have green? Can I have lime? Can I have a lime colorizer? Good. I like lime. And then bullets. We needed spell bullet. There we go. Well, I was sure right about that needing that sawdust. Alright, so let's throw down our spell programmer, because we're going to need that at some point. Let's throw our CAD back in. Said we could do that, so okay, hold on. Let's find out what's going on here. And create one. You don't have to make another assembler. You can make in your crafting grid to revert it. So can I put it up here? I got it. All right, so we've got one of everything in there. Boom. Okay, so if I put it over here, does it show things now? Ooh, it does. Which I'm guessing is where my spell bullet goes. Alright, so let's get back in here and see what we're doing. Once you're set, open the spell programmer. You'll see a large grid. This is where the magic happens. It's less traditional than simple sequence of actions. Add a piece to the click. Right-click any piece, any part of it, and select from the parts that come up. As you can see at the bottom, you have 2 available pieces. Once you have more, you'll be able to assemble them to create spells in a myriad of different ways, but for now let's just focus on these 2. The pieces you have available are select caster and debug. Tricks are the most important part of a spell, as they are the means through which the spell interacts with the world. In our case, the debug trick is an exception. It just writes a value to the player chat. Start off by placing them in your grid to adjacent to each other. Click on your selector caster. You'll find nothing special happens. When you do the same for trick, a panel appears where you can configure the inputs. Parameters are info where it goes into place to allow it to do the thing. Our debug trick sends out something to chat, so we need to know what that thing is. Take the target parameter and click on one of the arrows so that the selector caster looks like it's pointing towards the trick debug. If you hold shift while looking at a piece, you can see what types of parameters it needs or sends out. This is useful so that you can pair the right pieces together. Ignore the number parameter for now. If you've done this correctly, you should see an X on top turns into a check mark, and some values appear on the right. Don't worry about those for now. If you're still seeing the red X, hover over it and see what the error is to correct it. Now we need to make a program. Grab a spell bullet and click your spell programmer with it. You'll hear a beep boop and are ready to load your bullet. Load the bullet. Place the new CAD in our assembler. Into the big slot on the top left, slots, put the bullet in the slots. Okay. You may only have a single CAD on you. If you have more than one in your inventory, spells will not work. Okay. So, we go selector caster, trick debug, and then target. That seems pretty easy. I mean, did you guys get that? Hope so. Okay, and then we step back and we bullet it. There's our beep. Okay, so if I go bink, bink, entity player, null reference, world, recast, let's play, coordinates, very nice. Alright, so now I assume it just told us that we leveled up again. Oh, we have to undo our CAD. Alright, requirements. I'll start all the way at the bottom. Let's talk about the number parameter we saw last time. You'll notice the parameter has an extra option in the center. This means that the parameter is optionable. By selecting the center, you can disable it. In our case, the number is simply a label of sorts. It can be useful to have more complex spell where we have multiple things being sent out to chat. It requires a number, so let's give it one. We now have access to a constant number piece. Add the number parameter to your debug piece and add a constant number piece to your grid and connect it to your debug. You can set the number by clicking. Oh, I moved it while I was reading. Clicking on the piece and just typing the number with your keyboard. Okay. Now that we're dealing with multiple parameters, you can assume that in a more complex grid, not everything will be adjacent, just as currently as this is where connectors, another piece introduced here, come in. Connectors do exactly as the name says and allow a piece to connect to another like a wire. You can put a connector adjacent to a piece and it will transfer whatever that piece contains to whatever's on the other end of the connector. You can make connectors line up with other connectors if what you need is far away. A single connector line can send the object that points to it to any other pieces that are orientated to tap onto it. Remember, to level up, you need to make a spell using the piece highlighted in red, so you need to use the constant number piece, preferably alongside the debug trick from tutorial 1. But give connectors a try as well, as they'll be important later. Since this is your second tutorial, it's worth noting that should you wish to reread the tutorials, they're available at the end of the list on the left. Okay. Just scroll all the way to the bottom to find them. Okay. So, we probably need to do this to get our bullet back if we're going to do a new spell. I'm just going to leave that in there if we can. Looks like we can, so let's go with the connector there, just so that we're using everything. Constant number. There we go. There's no thing that opens, you just put your cursor over it and type the number. Okay, so we'll that. We'll bullet it. Let's see if it has it in there. I seem to have missed something. What did I miss? Adjacent to pieces. Okay. Add the number parameter to your debug piece and add a constant number piece. Okay, so I did something wrong there. Oh, I know what I did wrong. How do I delete a piece? Do I just hit delete? Just hit delete. Let's try that. Let's see if I got it right this time. I gotta want another spell bullet. We're gonna get another spell bullet just so that I'm not constantly flicking back and forth on this one. Recipe. Oh, I can't recipe that. Okay, it's got a spell in it, so its metadata is weird. Oh, and it has a little slot that tells you it's full. If you notice, it's got the little white piece on it. Okay, so that's got the new spell in it. Did that work? Nope, still did it wrong. What did I do wrong? Is this pointed the wrong way? Oh, there we go. Is that right? We'll find out. So we're going to use that bullet this time. We're going to trade them out. Aha, got it. Oh, I see a colored 9 showed up in the beginning of it. Alright. Next up. Looks like we're not going to get through a whole lot of this. Not sure if I'm going to do all of this in one run or not, but this is boring. When do we start doing cool stuff? Okay, this trick actually does something. Add motion. Adds movement to an entity, takes an entity, a vector, and a number. As you should have figured out already, select your caster returns the entity as the player. Oh, we can add movement to ourselves. The vector is the direction in which you want to move to be added. We don't have any great tricks up our sleeve to get a vector for the trick, but we do have the operator entity look, which gets a vector corresponding to the direction the player is looking. If we pass that into our trick add motion, the player will look in the direction move in the direction they're looking. As for the number, let's go with 3 now. But 3 is a good one. You'll notice that you modify the value of a constant, the number on the right's changed. These numbers are relevant now. They are the stats. The stats of your spell must match up to those of your CAD. If any of your spell stats are below the stats of your CAD, you won't be able to cast it. Okay. Complexity, potency, cost. Okay. Projection is the amount of tricks in your spell. Debug tricks aren't counted. Bandwidth, the width or height of your spell, whichever is the highest, if you find you're going over them. Okay, so the size on the grid matters. Yeah, this matters. Okay, so don't be using connectors for no reason. Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to delete all this. Oh, you have to click on them first to delete them. Okay, so let's see, we wanted look, add motion to caster with a number constant. If I'm doing this right, I think I'm doing this right. Number constant. Okay, so the number is going to be 3, like they said. This is going to get its speed from there, its direction from there, and its target is going to be there, right? Yes. Entity look is going to target that. No. Oh, okay. So this. Okay, we're gonna have to do some tomfoolery here. Let's see here. So we need a connector and a connector, because this is going to be, because both of them need, no, hold on, I'm going to redo this from scratch. I'm too tight up there. So I need the entity look, I need the add motion, no, not there. So we're going to get the entity look from caster. We're also going to need to connect that to, it's going to need, no, the target's going to be there. Maybe. So, and then this will be the add motion, right? The target's going to be the caster. This is going to target them and them. This is going to target that. And the add motion is going to need a number of 3. Speed, direction. Okay, does not like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this in what I think is the easier way, because we're going to need the entity look. Oh, we're going to need, oh, that's what I did wrong. Let's see if what I had will work with a connector now. I see, that's the wrong connector. We need to connect from there to there. Nope, like that. Nope, doesn't want to do it. Okay. So I will just go and add another selection caster. Right, so I'm going to target the caster. It's going to be in the direction of vector. Okay, now let's try and add the connector. Okay, there we go. So it did work. Sorry if this is a little confusing, guys. I am learning as we go as well, so. Oh, get back here. Alright, so theoretically when I do this, nothing. Is it because I didn't put it in slot 1? Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, that uses like all of our power though. Oh, and it hurts us if we don't have enough power to do what we're doing. That's something to know. Alright, do you like explosions? Of course you do. Explode to block the player is looking at. For this, we're going to use Trick Explode. Takes a vector and a number constant. Similar to our add motion, this constant is powered with trick. Vector is that's very short. What happened in our face? Vector ray trace. Operator entity position. Okay. So if I understand that right, we don't want selector caster. No. We want entity position. Instead of add motion, we want explode. Well, there was one other thing that we wanted. Raycast. So we're going to get a connector here. Alright, so this is going to get its power from there. Its position from there. This is going to output its position from there. And its ray is going to get from there. And this is going to target that. Right? Nah, I'm doing something wrong. It's wanting the entity position, the entity from there. Let's get its position from. So we need the vector, and it sends out a target. Entity. Okay, so this would be our target. It wants a target from here. This gets the vector. And it gets the position. Okay. Let's start from a clean grid. Okay, so we're going to start from the caster's position. Entity, position, selection caster. We're going to want my look. We're going to want to turn that into a vector raycast. Entity position. This needed a vector, right? Yes. And its target is going to explode, if I'm right. So this gets from there to we need to vector raycast entity look. So that's going to need this is going to get the vector from there. It's going to send its ray to there. This is going to get its direction from there. It's going to send its stuff out to entity position, which will be our target. And we're going to make it explode out where that says. And we need our numeric constant of 3. Power is going to be down there. Okay, this is the one that's having the problem. It's not getting a vector. That's because this doesn't send a vector. This does. So this can target a ray vector. Okay, I'll be right back when I figure this out. Alright guys, I figured out what I was doing. I'm stupid. Selector caster, and I was using entity position as the starting target. So unless I built this horribly, oh, this says it's not happy. Why is this not happy? It should be getting its position and no maximum. So it's wanting a position and array. So this is a number for the ray. Oh, it wants a vector from that. So ray here. The entity look, it outputs a vector. It needs two vectors. Does it have to be two vectors? I guess, maybe. Let's find out. So this is entity position. That's right, because it needs a position vector and array vector. And I guess we'll just go connector, connect to there. We'll get our target from there. This will get its position from there. There we go. Got it. That was a little harder than it looked like. Not gonna lie. Spent about 10 minutes off camera there. Oh, I didn't catch that. It shows you a miniature version of the spell there. We're gonna go outside for this one because this supposedly blows stuff up. And I don't want to blow anything up in here. So, let's head on outside. Grass block, I kill you. Too weak to cast this spell. What? I thought I matched all the numbers. Fine, can I put this in my casting grid and take it back apart? You still got spell bullet in it. If it wants a better casting gun, I'll make a better casting gun. I do remember it said something about that, so can I put this here? I can't take it back apart that way, but I took it back apart before this way. Ooh, I don't like that. So let's see what it was going on here. Oh, potency of the spell is way high, so let's turn this down to 1. No. 0, 1. Whoa, just 1. There we go. The spell bullet was just too much for it. Alright, let's try this again. I thought it told me to do 3 in the thing, but that's okay, so let's see if I can get it from it. Didn't appear to have done anything. Oh, got it that time. Ooh. It do some damage. Ow. Okay, interesting. Not particularly useful. I'm going to have to remember to turn that off. I do that every so often when I go down my stairs or my elevator. I get the stupid Windows sticky key notification. And normally I'd be playing this on Linux, but for whatever reason, the combination of my video card, which my old video card died, so it's not like I can just put it back in. The combination of my video card and my motherboard are incompatible with the current versions of Linux that are out. So, okay, this one looks complicated, so I think we're going to call that an episode on Psi. That felt awful boring, so we're probably going to do something different next episode, just to keep it from being, 5-10 drive videos in a row. So let's get a chest. I think I want a gold chest for this, because this is some sparkly stuff. So we're going to need an iron chest first. Not that we need the space, just because I like the aesthetically, because the gold will go with the black. In fact, for that matter, I want to pop you up. Put the chest in between. I said in between. Let's try the wrench doesn't do that. And I'm going to track down the source of this lag and hurt it, because I'm getting a little bit of lag. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but I'm seeing it. So I'm going to put my psi stuff in there. Ooh, I think that other mod, that was how it was duplicating things. There's only one in there, though. Or at least now. So, we're going to call this an episode. It was a pleasure having everyone here today. I know I've complained quite a bit about my shoulder lately. Physical therapy is starting to make a difference. It's actually getting to the point where I can actually do things during the day besides sit there and cry about my shoulder. So, that's always a bonus. Let's see. I wonder if the Mr. Me Creeps has gotten anything new, updated. I don't know. I will probably play with that in between episodes, and then, you know what, that's what we'll do next episode. I will investigate what all has changed, and we will do a little bit of an update, and then we'll do more Psi. Probably the episode after that. Probably episode of Psi, episode of something else, back to Psi, something else, back to Psi. Until, because although I don't think that we're going to get all the way up to here. This, exosuit casting. Maybe we will. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. So, we'll see. But I know there's some fun stuff that we can get going on in that. Such as things like a helmet that automatically lights up the area for us. But anyways, everyone, you have a great time. Have a great day. Enjoy life. Thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.